Like and subscribe, or you will be cursed with bad luck for life.
No! God, please, no!
This is the defining moment for all of these guys. Who will be the Season X champion of Europe?
That question is going to be answered sooner than later because the biggest issue these guys are having near the top is their drop spot. Whether it's game 1 or game 5, that's where the issues are at. That's where they're trying to fix it up. Retail is the main focus. Who's going to survive? We see 8 different trios going there in the top 20 even. Victors as well, MMB who tried to hold it down. It's chaos on the map right now, Monster.
Speaking about chaos, Gotham City has well over 3, 4, or 5 teams there. As you can see now, just take a look right here. Benji Fishy, Mitro's there. We have a weird change of events as Mongrel and his crew has also decided to land in Gotham City. So they're trying to switch it up in the final game here. They need a big point. They know they need a big turnaround because they fell from their consistency. They were targeted at Retail Row. We talk about adapting, and take a look. They had a strategy up their sleeves for game 6.
Looks like a lot of people wore the same shirts or sweaters because another trio we saw at Retail, Kester actually from Atlantis, he as well is in Gotham City too. So it can only be one person's city. Mr. Wayne's not here right now. Who's going to be the one to claim the title of Gotham?
You cannot count out Amplify and his team who have been sticking here, stride and true since the beginning. So I like what's going on here. Benji and Mitro say, hey, let's get some guns, let's get out of here. We actually don't want to fight all these squads. It's too much of a risk. So instead, they're going to rotate in and make someone else's day miserable.
Yeah, look at the effect on the mental. One of the most confident trios on Twitter, on social media, in-game as well with their actions, disengaging an early drop. Unprecedented, I've never seen it before, but Game 6 brings out the strategy and the bold choices you must make to survive and gain those points later on if possible when you're playing in the Fortnite Grand Finals.
But you know what? You bet they did their homework. You bet they did their homework. These guys have had Shifty Shafts relatively uncontested. They've been splitting up. If you just took one look at the map in early game, these will be easy arrows to single out. We saw it from the beginning of the game. I called it. I was like, yo, take a look at this wide landed. They didn't even land in Shifty. They just took spots all around the side. So maybe we see a little bit of counter tactic here as they're trying to single out one player here and see what they can do. Marking a big build fight in Gotham there now. They're just trying to optimize.
Yep, one big thing people like to criticize MMB for is, hey, all you ever do is land retail. That is where your brain's at most of the time. Your early drop is the reason you win. These guys have the biggest brains. They know how to actually break down retail. They know how to make a good contingency plan as well, right? This drop, actually, the split of just taking 2 buildings from Gotham, then moving to Shifty, unlooted as well, is genius, right? And it's not just dropping an appeal here.
There's a team here. So can they perform outside of their native home, the Retail Row lands? Of course they can, but they have to put it together. The question is, do they have enough loot at this point? All right, Benji Fish coming down here. The fight has already began. They have someone tunneled in and started in. Unfortunate for this player here as they're boosting their way through that build. It's Jesse who's going to go down right away. And now that Elim is theirs. And they're all 3 huddled up here. This is not the team you want to get into a box fight with at all, Shayo.
Not even that. The worst thing you can do for MMB when you're facing them is giving them confidence, giving them momentum. Might have been lost in these earlier games, but having these hard mats of metal early on, having attack SMG combined with a tactical shotgun, nades and minis to boot with full shields. Even if Mitro's low on HP, his mind is on cloud 9 at the moment. They know they're confident. They're going to now go aggress on this fight. It's going to be a insane game early on in the Fortnite Grand Finals.
Hopping over to the other side of the map, you can see teams that were by Retail now. Frey, Raze, and Doozy going in for the fight here. They have the high ground. They're in a battle, but someone's going to get rocked from the side there as Poocher gets taken out, and their teammate Doozy gets traded as well. So the down has happened. Quick little ramp reset right there. He's waiting for the edit, makes it. That's a white shot. You know he's going to go for the next one. Cyber goes down as well. Can he find a third right now as things start to slow down here? Doozy's still knocked though, so they can get the save off.
Yep, this is insane too because they're at 10 points right now, right?
Yes.
Every point gained when it's so close to the top and the bottom as well escalates them in placement overall within the game too. Solely right now, back against the wall, Raze as well, trying to heal up, maybe pick up dudes if possible. We'll see what goes on at the moment in this fight. Shockwaves are available though. Once again, a fully fleshed out loadout this early on. Teams are getting even more efficient as they play, but using them at the right time is the proper question, right? Shockwaves have been in the game for so long. I did a breakdown on them earlier in the weeks as well. People are now used to beaming people who use them for an advantage. So timing is crucial for Frey, and timing is crucial for every team in the match at the moment. Just first zone, but it is the last game of the heat. 87 people left alive. Storm Surge is a problem.
So taking a look at Stormy's perspective there, he's going to eat the big tactical to the face right there as he was sneaking around the low ground with no help. So that squad has now been taken out. Their run here in the FNCS finals has come to a close. But congrats on making it this far. Just got to give thanks to all the competitors that have pushed throughout the weekend, throughout the qualifiers. This has been a long series of events here. And if you made it this far, you know, you should feel good about yourself. You're still a winner.
Yep, let's recap, right? You had to play through those first 5 weeks. That was mentally straining it up because it was the first time people were actually locked into picking trios, learning with their team. There was no chance of escape because then you risk losing those consistency points, right? Now you're in those heats as well, dealing with having those 6 games. You lose those early on. You want to be able to keep that momentum, keep that drive, and adapt your playstyles, as we saw MMB even do, the most momentous team, switching and dropping retail to Gotham. So it's a very good growing experience for everyone, regardless of where you place in the grand finals. Even if you did or did not make it, so many instances to learn from in this entire process.
So it looks like Kezher, Marcus, and Trippin probably dropped Amplify, Maso, in their last trio there here in Gotham City, as they now own it to themselves with those 3 eliminations, and they could just take free reign over this territory here, get their farm up. That's going to set them up real nice. We saw so many teams land here, but they are the ones who we're going to call king today of Gotham right now. As we already know, Mongrel, Mitra, and Benji did rotate out 2 shifty shafts. Just taking a look here at the little map, you can see all of this is unfolded just in the first zone. There's so much action already happening here, and the rotations are already beginning. If I had to guess, with the amount of teams heading hard south right now, this zone is probably going to go way down south.
Yep, and let's not forget the point breakdown at the top. We have 2 teams with wins who are in contention to actually win the whole thing. 2 teams, the Vic, who was actually at the top before this final Game 5 that just happened, does not have a victory royale. He needs to get one in the book to make sure, just in case there's a tiebreaker, everything's fine. And once again, mention it in other regions as well, everyone is in the same game. So anything that happens to a certain trio on their leaderboard has rippling effects to everyone else behind and ahead of them. Whether it's making people more uncomfortable or making them, you know, kind of ease their minds knowing that they have a secured placement for themselves. There's a lot to think about for these guys, as well as rotating and getting elims on the move around the map.
I'm talking about rotations, you can see over at the map, I think it's Camo, Harmy, and Pepper, but no, wait, MMB is on their way back through Gotham City. I recognize those skins right there. Tripper, Kezher, and Marcus are about to get into a 3-way clash here with one of the strongest trios on the scene right now. They need these elims, they need these points right here, and that's why they're going to be bloodthirsty. They're going to be so hungry to get them, because they have to make it into top 5. They have to battle their way back up the train, back up the ladder here, we should say. Benji's in the fray of it. He's in the house. He's hunting here. Mongrel, Mitro find the opportunity. Trippin's actually going to get the first exchange right there. So they're in the lead for the battle right now, but Marcus has no shield either. What is Tripper going to do? As he owns all the floors right now.
Yep, and at the moment as well, look at the instantaneous, use of utility. Let's look at the top 10 as well at the moment too. We got Boyer at top. They just won the last game. Tschiiinken, Stompy been very consistent on high ground, but have lost 2 of the games too. Falcon Lee, Robabs, and the Vic were staying up there the whole time throughout the day, but now have to reclaim their spot. The top 10 in contention too. The points breakdown, it's just 10 points. Mongrel goes down. He actually goes down though.
Mongrel's gonna get taken out there by the SMG play. Very sneaky by Tripper, and he converts on the Elim. That is not what they wanted to happen here, as they are fighting in a very weird position, and now the aggro is on. They want this. No. They get the shot on Benji, and Benji falls with a big 95. Can Mitro clutch it in the final moments? But he's, of course not. It's 3 shotguns to 1 right there, and Camo, Harmy, and Pepper probably pushing in right here as they have heard the shots. Another trap play comes out.
Every player now in the map also saw exactly who went down, right?
Sometimes.
The Kings they've fallen.
They've fallen. That's it. They're out of the running, guys. They've had a great run thus far, and they have fallen indeed. But the respectful disengage here Clement says, hey, listen, Trip, you hit me pretty hard. That was a nice trade. I'm out of here, buddy. You can have Gotham City. The Kings of Gotham survive the running. Can they make it to endgame now? As we jump back into Stompy, Tschiiinken, and Aqua, we saw them hold this position before. Unfortunately now, zone favor is not with them, so they're already moving. Using the hoverboard is going to allow them to cut straight across the field. And when we talk about it, the main problem so far has been the storm surge for them. So now they move on to the next mountain, where they're probably going to siege up against some more players.
Yup, the premeditation of this trio, just to know exactly how their drop spot's breaking down. On the right as well, we see Savage and his trio rotating as well. Everyone now is on that wavelength of, listen, the back half of the points, the 15 for the victory royale, all the elims you can get on Storm. Oh my God, actually, look, breaking it down. The trio's actually bunched up on this mountain, on the snow side, on the transfer towards Fatal Fields.
Top 5.
They're in the top 5. This is going to be actually momentous in terms of if there's a knock, if there's a tag, on how people are moving, because everyone is a little bit trigger happy. Bella EU
I love
actually,
what just happened.
it was
I love what just happened.
Oh my.
Aqua with the money grenade shots right there, actually going to take him out, forcing a shield bubble to come down, but it's not going to be enough. Shockwave for the disengage here. Tohaj, Caxi, and crew need to get out. Can Bella EU back up in time? They're all so hurt. Aqua's not going to let him go. He's a World Cup champion here. He's not going to let him go. They're on the pressure here. Okay, all right. He decides it's not enough. They back up just far enough. They're doing so good consistency-wise. They don't want to go for it. Little do they know, though, that's some of their biggest competition right there.
Yup, the tunnel vision's not there, which is great, but this is kind of the journey they've been through in this entire match, right? They've been hit so hard in the beginning and early on. Now they know the extent of you have to kind of bulk up, and oh my God, who needs bulk when you have precision? Darker only getting even more dark and shady underneath the tree. Not enough time or actually objects in front of you to save yourself, my man. Split off of his trio in the river. That Elam's gonna be confirmed. Remember, it was a 3-point difference for these guys from the top. Now they just caught up. We'll see if this is going to be enough, and these mats and utility dropping going to be enough for these guys to have a more advantage in the late game.
Slowly but surely, they're closing that gap there indeed. Crew, Chapix, and their last teammate, Beehive, is here in Fatal Fields. We also have Savage, Item, and Rojo. All of our top 5 contenders so close to one another. These guys are all in the top 10 running here to take away the FNCS finals. Every single engagement matters because it is that close in the final leaderboards. If you fall, you give away your position to another team who's only climbing that much higher. That's how close it is right now.
Yep, and it's Savage's actual second chance, a very similar loadout that we saw before. He has the shockwaves and the RPG again, but a big cheese moment coming out in the fields. He actually goes down. That is a huge elim, a big part of that trio as well. When all 3 of them are up, that's when they perform the most. Losing one of your big links might actually be a big bump in the road for these guys to have a successful endgame. Big win conditions there too. Chug splashes, RPGs, and shockwaves lost to that trio.
Now the question is, can they get the reboot card? They own all of this. Item, Rojo, and Savage are in the 5th place right now. Crew, Chapix, and Beehive are in 8th place. Caxi, Tohaj, and their teammate, they're so high. They're in 3rd place with Bella EU. This is how close it is. They're all next to each other. If any single team take a battle with the other, they're going to fall in the ranks and someone's going to take the lead here.
See, that's the pressure these guys are dealing with, but the zone movements still happen, right? You have to make calls. We saw it with Aqua. You still have to bulk up, but tunneling like Savage did there a little bit too hard, gauging too much in exploration. At this point, Game 6, the last of the grand finals, can prove absolutely fatal. It looks like people are actually getting trapped back on this side of the river as well in the mid game. Every moment matters right now. You want to make sure your loop path and movement is efficient, but being a little bit too efficient opens up holes in your builds, right? Using just wood, that's when SMG players want to pressure you, especially if it's this close range monster.
That's right. Little did he know there was someone sneaking close by, but that's why Pate and Dreta and Ritz here are setting up the ambush. They have the slight elevation and advantage over them. Stinkers are going to be unsuccessful, at least the first one per se. In comes the shield bubble to block any others from coming in, and they want to bring this box battle here. And Dreta's actually underrated when it comes down to box battle, similar to a Click's play style. He is fast, he's sharp, and he's witty with it, and that's why they win this exchange here. Pate and Andretta actually connect so hard right there. Another one. Fish Skin is just going to give it away. They know he's not on the team. Down goal Scalar to the fall right there. And this squad was in 10th or 11th place. Ritz, Andretta, and Pate were in the running, so all of these elims propelled them way high up, as that's a 4-point swing in their favor.
Yep, just look at the defensive trigger finger, instantly just dropping shield bubbles anywhere that's possible, taking bold edits without hesitation. Once again, using another shield bubble, which are so crucial on reaction, but now this is pro-reactive. And Dreda in the driver's seat, usually as the IGL when things go bad in the trio, he's the one always working within chaos. He knows that, hey, I don't want to be in this situation anymore. Endgame hasn't even started yet. Let's get situated, and then let's move after that. Now the field is kind of calm. We don't see many people going down. This is where all the strats are being made up, Monster. What would be the best play to make for the trios at the top?
You gotta claim a mountain. Do what Stompy, Tschiiinken, and Aqua are doing right now. They have the high ground to the left. And I'll correct myself, and Dreda, Ritz, and Pate are actually in 7th when we last checked in, so they are so high in the running, but you have to claim some of that high ground. Get a zone to pass by without any, anything too crazy, because if you're out here in the fields, this is rough. This is the worst case scenario for you.
Yep, right now, this clue show, right, it's just hesitation. On the mini-map, you can see it as well. People see the zone, but I guess everyone's just calming so hard right now and spending so much time in these hard-built mats on the edge, they're kind of wrecking themselves before their game even starts. It is game 6. There's a lot of pressure at the moment, but you can't let that hinder your game plan moving forward. Now the zone moves. Thomas taking ticks, going for a late launch pad. Provoked is there to watch it though, taking beams. Falcon Lee, can he get his wings snipped and fall down? No. Gets into a shield bubble, instantly using hard mats as well. Very smart. That 6-game process, learning exactly what you need to do. Has very good tools to use from this range as well. Heavy sniper, infantry rifle. Very good tools to actually get those damage spots done and take these one-off shots from odd angles. We'll see if this trio can use this position on edge circle to hopefully get a zone bounce back and move forward on their rotation.
Our first place team, E11 Boyer Vurox and Mortar sitting close by just underneath them right there. Now take a look. We have Left Eye, Saipan, Red Rush up in the high ground, Caxi, Bella EU, and Tohaj just below that. They're all in the safe zone right now. Mind you, beautiful stinkers coming out, just hitting that clutter zone over there of builds, and that's why they're pressuring. Because remember, when you're making that edit, your defense goes down, your back is turned. You can't block the suppressed fire, let alone hear the shots. It becomes that much harder. But taking a look up here, you have Luki, Artor, and Smiley. Again, they've been in the running. Just we haven't even heard much of them. Just been consistent so far today, and that's what you like to see, new faces rising up here. But Stompy, Tschiiinken, they have the zone.
You think that those are the orange markers on the mountain?
Yes,
there's no way.
There's
no way. Yes, it is. The prime time position, the only mountain at the moment that could possibly be hit from this zone. It is the Kings now reigning over the region. MMB is down, Tschiiinken, Stompy, Aqua are on top at the moment, figuratively and literally on the map as well. They have to battle through from 2nd to 1st at the moment. 2 shield bubbles though, and a lot of utility to use as well. 1 Elim already down on Stompy, so these guys do have a lot of the pressure that they took off the trio they got the Elim with. We saw that in the river before, so they own this whole backside. Using this position, have elevated ground as well. I mentioned this with Lupo the other day, right? When people launch pad, which they will, to them, they're going to deploy right in front of their faces. Having these ARs is going to be huge for these guys.
They just got to drop to land right above their heads. If that's not lucky, I don't know what is. But here comes the server. 9 out of the top 10 teams are still in the lobby here. Left Eye is going to fall down to Tschiiinken as every point just propels them with a huge swing. So here comes the grenades. This is going to be huge pressure. It's just going to trickle down the mountain as well. Remember, these explodes are going to crack open and fracture all of the builds. Taking a look at a little aerial view here, you can see what's going on. Look at this beautiful shot of the high ground hold and how they just have this entire mountain to themselves right now.
So what this does for this trio, having this much pressure from 3 different angles, it stops other trios in front of them, and since everyone's on that wavelength of using hard mats, it puts a great wall right in front of their actual high ground, putting more of an elevated mid ground from natural low ground. Follow me with me here, right? If the entire server is elevated, rockets reach your enemies faster.
And
right, an example
that,
right there.
Artor
goes down
with the huge one. Campfire giving away the location and the placement. Little pressure on the walls there. That's another point that's going to swing in their favor. Finally, they are finding their elims with the high ground. We saw last game they struggled to find it, but they took placement with that high ground. This is going to be another game where they're just going to run it across the tarp here. Heavy Sniper's going to be able to crack something open. Can they follow up with some AR shots? That is the question right now, as the zone is going to cut back across, but they still have the favorable spot.
Yep, every single AR shot too, with how they've kind of structured people to stop in front of them and build up, will hit harder. Every headshot will hit for that max damage. The damage drop-off will not be there if they stick close enough to the ground. The big thing is, though, there's so many other shockwaves in the game on other trios. The lower you are, the more risk you kind of run with these shockwaves coming on unexpectedly out of hard mats. You can't predict it, but let's see if the accuracy is high enough for this god trio to get more elims. Mosquitoes all over the server. They have the swatters. Can they get any preliminary elims before this endgame rotation starts? Tschiiinken is on the lead. Stompy out back. Aqua being the insurance all the way behind the trio. Their hard mats now getting used. Once again, they're on the 5th zone, keeping height. This is how they lose that height and the mats near the end of the game. They have to be very careful, Monster, moving forward.
That's right, but they're doing A-okay as any team that steps up to them is meeting the heavy snipe pump combo as Stompy is putting down the shots here. So upsy daisy he goes here. There's still 36 players remaining. Falcony falls down in the feed, unfortunately for him, and Ben, oh my gosh, you just look at the feed lighting up. There goes Mitro. There goes another, as these guys are looking for the shots right now. Can Stompy find another right here?
Ooh.
And it's not looking quite successful just yet. They still have shield bubbles too if they have to protect any of their back layers here.
Yep,
tarping out.
Tschiiinken's on top. They're going to be contesting a little bit, but going to stay up. They're only on one tarp, though. Aqua on the back defending, but if there's an immediate shot towards Tschiiinken and Stompy, that's a bad problem for them. They're going to drop down. The big thing is, well, Monster, look at this split.
Motor goes down.
We have the duo together who perform so well in Worlds together, and Aqua, the overlord who knows the plays, who's won the competition at the back. It's a genius split, very efficient at the moment. The only thing they have to care about and watch out is for their mats. They have to make sure they have the resources to close out this game.
Here's why it's perfect. They're so high that they cannot be affected by shockwaves, so it doesn't matter. Like, Tschiiinken might get hit down, but they won't. They're still way up top. And there comes the little assistance, if you want to call it that. This could be a crucial loop delivery for more materials as they fight their way up. Can they get it right here? And Dretta's still in the running. Pate catches Daedra, and Chapix catches another. Ooh. There goes M10 Pepper getting taken out right there. Bye to him. Can they find another? And it is. It's going to be X8, and it's looking like this trio is going to take it away right now if they can just continue to hold out. It's not over yet. G2 Tohaj is still in the game too.
Yep, at the moment, 14 people left alive. Looks like there's 9 trios placement. It's still good to go around. Amazingly, Stompy, Tschiiinken, Aqua still have height from the half and half, from the 4th zone, from the top of the mountain. Now they're on the top of the leaderboards. Shield bubble still there. Heavy sniper to add some flavor into any elims they can get. Shields being popped. Stompy stomping on the competition below him. There's wood mats now. Players are running out of the important materials to defend them from the game. Nick up top, just look at the actual HP at the moment. No one's actually peeked out, and if they do, Nyx's health bar gets depleted. They have eyes, not even 6, but it seems like 12, a million eyes on the whole server, top down, Monster.
That's right, but it's not over yet. We did see Virox for a second in the feed there. We know he's the first place, so he's still getting placement as the server continues to go on. It's anyone's game right now, but can they continue to close out? I love it. Tschiiinken goes all the way up, trying to stay safe right now. Here comes Stompy. He's going to fall down. He's one that gets down and dirty for these elims right here. He has to get in the box plays. Only 9 builds remain. They have the ammunition. They actually have everything. This time around, they're finding some elims.
6 people left alive, 4 trios up. There still is 2 more placements to go with the victory royale. Now the downsprout of builds have to come down. Waterfalls need to be there. Shockwaves go up. It's a beam. Nikeva goes down. It's a 3v1 at the moment. The big shotgun. The victors of the region. Stompy, Tschiiinken, Aqua take it home. The Europe Finals, Game 6, the grand final. Winners of the region, 76 points. The victory royale.
10 eliminations from the trio right here, showing why they're a world-class trio. Can they bring it all the way home? We'll find out shortly with Sundown and Zeke in the studio.
I mean,
it's pretty definitive.
Yeah, I mean, they're in first place, winning the match, took the high ground through, everyone else dropping all the way out, and I mean, what more could you ask for? The World Cup qualifying terror of Tschiiinken and Stompy back with a vengeance, adding in the World Cup champion. duo, Aqua, God, like, just, it was nuts seeing them surge in the back half, able to overcome what a lot of people thought they wouldn't be able to do. MMB falling short. Let's take a look at those final standings because, I mean, Europe was insane. What a treat to kick off the grand final broadcast. And as you can see, Tschiiinken, Stompy, Aqua, congratulations. You are the European Season X champions, taking home your share of just under $500,000, 76 points, 13 clear, and also have to give a shout out to Andretta. While we were watching on the high ground, he went on a tear on the low ground and was just running through, basically 1v9ing and putting the team on his back to push them all the way up into second place. Boyer again making it into the end game, the victory royale clutch being the difference there between third and fourth, in a nice little payday as well. And then Tohaj, Bella EU, and Caxi continuing the trend of consistency and placement, rounding it out, just falling short. And again, we see a pretty clear drop off right there after that. I mean, 8 points is significant across, but again, congratulations to everyone here. MMB just on the outside looking in, a rough back half for them. But I mean, again, Zeke, this was so good. The gameplay was fantastic. Storylines were there, seeing all the contested, and then just the redemption.
That's right, man. World champion is now Season X champion. You'll love to see it. Let's also take a look at the next page, see who came in at top 20.
Heart that